yours. Okay. No, yours is okay. That's different. So, good job, too. Isn't that pretty? I feel it. Like a little line.
Well, not from original
That's right. But they have service. You were talking, so I decided by. In the middle of a conversation, so you know.
Shana Tova and Shabbat Shalom. It is wonderful to be with all of you this Kol Nidrei evening and this Shabbat evening. A special welcome to anyone joining us here at Bethel for the first time. If you haven't been in a while, welcome back. I'm Rabbi John Prosnett. This is Cantor Jacob Namey. We're joined by our terrific choir and talented musicians. We also send a warm greeting to everyone welcoming us via the power of streaming. And most of all, thank you. It's good to be together. If you use a hearing aid and want to connect to our hearing loop, you should be able to do so. If you have any issues, you can ask anyone at the desk and they'll help you connect. Yom Kippur is sometimes called a journey, an inner spiritual path that we embark on once a year. It is not just a day of fasting and prayer, but a profound process of self-reflection, repentance, and renewal. From the opening Kol Nidrei service to the final Ne'ilah prayer tomorrow afternoon, we move through stages of introspection, seeking forgiveness from others, from ourselves, and from God. There will be peaks and valleys that lie ahead for all of us, but ones that hold promise of rebirth and renewal. Let us take that first step on our journey by lighting the memorial candle on page 9.
Baruch atah Adonai noteah betochenu chaye olam. You are blessed, Eternal One, who places within us life everlasting.
The human spirit is the lamp of God, searching out what lies within us. Guided by the flame of conscience, on this sacred night we search for truth. Shine your light upon us as we strive to serve you. May we find safety in your faithful love. We light the flame of healing and forgiveness on this atonement night. We give thanks for love. Okay, so wait, now light the Shabbat. There you go. It's on the top. Higher.
אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת ליום הכיפורים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Page 17. In its emphasis on humility, Kol Nidrei provides a corrective to the toxic certainties of polarized discourse. What if we approached each other with the humility to recognize that our most confident convictions will always be qualified by the limits of our own knowledge and understanding? In its haunting melody and strangely legalistic language, we begin to sense the twilight truths. Our high horses too often stumble, and our soapboxes stand on shaky ground. Kol Nidrei grants us the gift of sacred uncertainty, the chance to begin this new year with a sense of what we do not know, rather than a narrow certainty about what we do. It's what the Buddhists call beginner's mind. What if every time I were ready to proclaim some self-evident truth, I allowed Kol Nidrei to whisper in my ear, "Says who?" At this point, I invite all to rise. We will open our arks and we invite forward all of the Temple Bethel past presidents to join us on the bima as we take our Torah scrolls out of the ark.
ורסרו על הצדיק וישרה לשמחה. ורסרו על הצדיק וישרה לשמחה. ורסרו על הצדיק Israel. ובשיבה של מדע ובשיבה של מטה, על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל, אנו מתירים להתפלל עם העבריינים. כל נדרי ואסרי אחרמי
Page 20.
Page 20.
All shall be forgiven the entire community of Israel, and the stranger who lives in their midst, for all have gone astray in error. Moses prayed to God, as you have been faithful to this people ever since Egypt, please forgive their failings now, in keeping with your boundless love. And God responded, I forgive as you have asked. Page 22.
Arechu et Adonai Hamevorach
Page 26, join with me. Love beyond all space and time. Your love enfolds your people, Yisrael. We receive it in your teaching, your gift of Torah, sacred obligations, discipline, and law. So let us speak these teachings when we lie down and rise up, and find joy forever in your Torah and mitzvot. They're the very essence of our life, ours to ponder and study all our days. May we never lose or be unworthy of your love.
כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
Seated. The words of the V'ahavta are on page 30.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם ושבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך ושרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני והוצאתם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 38. True and faith, these are fundamental to our existence. God alone is their source, and we are Israel, a people of God. Our sovereign saves us from tyranny, redeems us from its violence through countless wonders, from its brutality through great feats beyond measure. We are Israel, a people of God, the giver of life who would not let our feet give way, the maker of miracles for us and Pharaoh, of signs and portents in the land of Egypt, the one who brought our people Israel from its midst to enduring freedom.
מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני.
Our Hashkivenu prayer, our nighttime prayer, is on page 42.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ותקננו בעצה טובה, בעצה טובה מלפניך, והושיענו למען שמך, והגן בעדנו, והסר מעלינו, והגן בעדנו, והסר מעלינו, אויב דבר, אויב דבר וחרב ורעב, תסירנו, תסתירנו, כי אל שומרנו ומצילנו אתה, כי אל מלך רחום, חנון ורחום אתה, ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכה שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
More than the Jewish people have kept Shabbat, Shabbat has kept the Jewish people. It is also called Nidrei, but it is Shabbat as well. So we sing the words of Vishamru, our special psalm for the Sabbath day, on page 44. For on this day of atonement shall be made for you to purify you from your wrongs, and pure you shall be in the presence of Adonai. The top of page 45, Ki Bayom Hazeh.
כי ביום הזה יכפר עליכם, לטהר אתכם, מכל חטאותיכם, לפני אדוני תטהרו.
If you're able, I invite you to once again rise. Page 46, we begin the tefillah with the meditation together.
Ya la 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 la. ואלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו, למען שמו באהבה. ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מחכה חיים וחסד, בחיי הכל רחמים רבים, צומק נופלים ונופל חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו אישי ועפר. מבעמוריו בגבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך בני תחומיים, ומצליח ישועה. ונאמר אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
We're going to enter a period of silent meditation, silent worship. I invite you to explore the prayer book all the way through page 79. And when you're done with your personal meditation, you may be seated.
Kalilai nafshi tidom nafshi ke'afar lakol tehiyeh Elohai, Elohai, Elohai nisor leshoni bera usvatai nidaber mirma Galim kalilai nafshi tidom nafshi ke'afar lakol tehiyeh Elohai, Elohai. Iuli ratzoni breifi, egion libi lefanecha, Adonai, 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 Suri, Adonai, Suri,
The week I arrived at Temple Bethel, Alan Klugman, our member and the director of the Jewish Federation of Madison, took me to Camp Shalom in Verona so I could visit the camp that has delighted Madison youth for 70 years. Our son Max went this summer. His assessment, it was fire. That's good, just so you know. 1 week later, Kendra Sager, our director of lifelong learning, took me to Osrui, the Reform Movement's camp in Economawalk. I met the staff and campers, watched them sing and play and delight in the joy of Jewish overnight camp. 2 weeks ago, Sharon and Brad and EJ Kahn invited me to the Interlaken Havdalah reunion here at Lake Wingra. Dozens of young Jews and their families sang the opening words of Havdalah from the book of Esther, La Yehudim Haita Ora. The Jews had light and joy and happiness and honor. There really is no place like Jewish summer camp. And each of these camp experiences filled me with joy to witness the enthusiasm and energy from our youngest children, the ruach, the nefesh, the spirit and the soul of the next generation in full Jewish exuberance. It delighted me to see such Jewish joy because this was a very difficult year to be a Jew, or to be married to a Jew, or to raise a Jewish child. There hasn't been a day in the last year where we haven't thought about the massacre of October 7th, 2023, the deadliest day in the Jewish calendar since the Holocaust. There hasn't been a moment where this community doesn't mourn and grieve the barbaric attack on Israel and on all Jews, whose goal was not only to murder and kidnap, but to break our spirits. There hasn't been a day where we haven't prayed for the speedy release of hostages, 101 still in the depths of Gaza's tunnels. There hasn't been a time where we haven't sought normalcy for the residents of northern Israel, a place I lived for a year after high school, who have been unable to go home since Hezbollah lobbed rockets indiscriminately into Israel beginning on October 8th. We love that tiny strip of land, 0.014% of the whole world's landmass, 0.2% of the world's people, our ancient home, the place we've prayed for at the end of every Passover Seder. We love Friday afternoon in the Old City as Christian pilgrims, the Muslim call to prayer, and Jews preparing for Shabbat intermix. We love the freshwater oasis of En Gedi, right above the Dead Sea, where thousands of years ago David took refuge from King Saul. We love Tu B'Shvat in Israel, as the first blossoms of the almond trees begin to appear throughout the land. We love the fruits and vegetables of the market, the Hebrew and Arabic of the street signs, the secular and religious, the oceans and the forest, the metropolitan Tel Aviv and the remote desert kibbutzim, the land of Abraham and Sarah, Ben Gurion and Golda. I also yearn for normalcy in the United States, because we know when there is war in Israel, it shakes our Jewish identity here as well. For many this past year, there has been an existential loss of safety as a Jew in America. The 2023 FBI hate crime report makes it quite clear. The Jewish community was the most targeted religious group, with 1,832 anti-Jewish incidents accounting for 67% of all religiously motivated hate crimes. 708 more incidents than the prior year. We never imagined that our neighbors here in Madison would justify and even celebrate the deaths of our people. Some of us have been nervous to travel or to wear a Jewish star around our neck. We're anxious about college campuses and about sending our kids to college. Relationships with family members are strained. We've lost friendships. At Bethel, we spend $95,000 each year on security. Hope Lutheran doesn't have to do that. Blessed Sacrament doesn't have to do that. You know what $95,000 could give us? A full-time high school educator to engage with our post-bar and bat mitzvah students and college students. Or a music professional to join Cantor Nami at every Shabbat and high holiday service, who could lift voices all across Madison's from Tot Shabbat to Capitol Lakes. A parking lot, so on the high holidays, okay, it wouldn't do that. But you get my point. And through this undeniably awful year, many of us had no idea what to think. Perhaps you're vacillating, trying to hold it all in. Perhaps you've just wanted to walk away perhaps you just wanted to cry. Because while we might be ironclad in some of our beliefs, our commitment to Zionism, our knowledge that anti-Semitism is real and pernicious, the importance of the Iron Dome defense systems, the need for a sovereign state to defend herself, Hamas and Hezbollah are terrorist organizations. All hostages need to come home. While these might be givens, we are unsure about so much else. Division is rife. Those divisions appear in our own family, our own community here at Bethel, and potentially even within our own thinking. We do know that this year has been a cruel one to be a Palestinian. We know that entire families in Gaza have been destroyed, that this past year has been a constant state of siege, displacement, and devastation. We know that thousands among thousands of innocent people have been killed. We fear collective punishment and note that just like us, Palestinians want to be free. They want to go home. They want to buy bread for their families, and that they have a legitimate claim to the land. We worry about waging war without a plan and the cynical use of war for personal ends. We know that there are ministers in Israel who condone and even encourage mob violence against Arabs. We know that there are Israeli nationalists who see this war as a means to expel Palestinians from their homes and reestablish a Jewish presence in Gaza. We admit that occupation is inherently brutal. We know that all criticism of Israel is not by nature anti-Semitic. We struggle to navigate it here too in Wisconsin. 25 days out from our presidential election, the right has people who blame us for the world's problems with globalist dog whistles about our corrupting influence, and who use the fight against anti-Semitism as a wedge issue for partisan gain. Threats to blame Jews for the potential loss of an election, turning classic tropes of the Jew as puppet master, and even use of Nazi imagery and propaganda. while some on the left maliciously distort our age-old yearning for Zion as a colonialist project, who minimize anti-Semitism and who proclaim a belief in human rights, yet who sympathize and even lionize Hamas and the Iranian government. We know that conversations about Israel are filled with double standards and intellectual dishonesty. Somehow, the entire world is once again consumed with our right to exist. As I said, this was a very difficult year to be a Jew, or to be married to a Jew, or to raise a Jewish child. So what do? How do we approach Yom Kippur, the holiest day in our calendar, in 5785? We grieve. Too many of us didn't get a chance to grieve properly after October 7th. No doubt there were parents and children and friends who didn't grieve because their family members were kidnapped. But for us as a community, we didn't get to properly mourn. In Jewish tradition, we bury a body quickly to allow the mourning process to begin, so we don't wait in limbo. But after October 7th, many of us waited in limbo. There was no time to grieve. There was war and there were hostages. It was impossible to comprehend the magnitude of the event, so we read news story after news story and scrolled Instagram and Facebook, even when we knew it was damaging to our mental health. We were rightfully triggered because we didn't receive the words of solace we anticipated, like one does in the time of mourning. But because we were met with, like one does in the time of mourning, but we were met with silence or denial. Instead of compassion came division and rupture from our friends and sometimes our family. We couldn't grieve because we were shaken with uncertainty. We couldn't grieve because we were weeping for innocent life lost in the mass destruction of Gaza. We knew those were mothers and fathers trying to mourn their children. We know that all life is sacred. Each Passover we remove wine from our cups as the pain of others, even the pain of Pharaoh, is recalled. Again and again, attempts at grief were stunted. The nightmare continues. Israeli hostages killed by friendly fire. Settler violence targeting entire West Bank villages like Zenutra in the Hebron Hills. 12 Druze children playing soccer in the Golan town of Majd al-Shams, killed by Hezbollah. 6 hostages almost freed, yet killed brutally in tunnels under Gaza. How powerful was Rachel Goldberg Poland in her eulogy to her son Hirsch after surviving 11 months of captivity in Gaza. Somehow she began remarkably with the words of gratitude to God. I'm so grateful to God, and I want to do Hakarat HaTov and thank God right now for giving me this magnificent present of my Hirsch. Rachel ended by speaking to her beloved Hirsch directly. I will love you and I will miss you every single day of my life. But you are right here. I know you are right here. I just have to teach myself how to feel you in a different way. We confess. Yom Kippur is our day for confession. We confess in the collective, and then we imagine who we want to be as a community. It's not as if each of us has committed these failings, but some of them likely strike too close for comfort. As our prayer book reminds us, the purpose of this work on Yom Kippur is to be able to move in a positive direction beyond these uncomfortable feelings and realities, to confront them in order to transcend them and to arrive at a better place. Al chet shel chatanu lefanecha, for the sin we have committed against you. We minimize the rise of anti-Semitism in Europe and here in the United States. Not wanting to be alarmist, we trivialize the fear of our Jewish neighbors and relatives. Al chet shel chatanu lefanecha, we looked away from rockets falling on Sderot in Ashkelon and the tunnels being constructed in Gaza and the pernicious rhetoric from Hezbollah in Iran. Al chet shel chatanu lefanecha, we failed to recognize and combat the increased efforts to demonize and isolate Israel from the region and the world. Al chet shel chatanu lefanecha, we ignored the horrific conditions of Gaza, the desperation, the hunger, the life under constant siege. Al chet shel chatanu lefanecha. We shrugged off settlement expansion and land theft in the West Bank, not willing to vocally confront fanatical Israelis, many of whom are also American. Al chet shel chatanu lefanecha. We silenced criticism of Israel and too quickly shouted, self-hating Jew, at our youth who hesitated or questioned Israel's actions. Al chet shel chatanu lefanecha. We too quickly laughed off peace activists as Pollyannish, yet were unwilling to do the work of peace building ourselves. We too speedily turned to war as the answer. Al chet shel chatanu lefanecha. We refused to call out allies on the left who created Zionist litmus tests and who, because Jews are perceived as privileged, were deemed beyond the reach of bigotry. Al chet shel chatanu lefanecha. We stood on the sidelines and didn't support, vocally or financially, Israeli organizations doing the work on the ground of building a shared, peaceful, and democratic society. Al chet shel chatanu lefanecha. We turned suffering into competition. We simplified the complex. We were zero-sum in our thinking. We made the Palestinian-Israeli conflict into a spectator sport with winners and losers. Our own hearts hardened. When we tap on our hearts during Yom Kippur confession, we aren't beating our chests. We are tapping our heart to ask it to open. We will write a new story going forward. We celebrate and we hope. This was a very difficult year to be a Jew, or to be married to a Jew, or to raise a Jewish child. But we need you more than ever. We need you to be loudly and proudly and openly Jewish. We need you to wear your Judaism proudly at school and at work, with your neighbors and in your civic organizations. And if you aren't Jewish, we need you too. We need you to say, somebody I love is Jewish. I don't care if you're Orthodox or Reform, an agnostic, a believer, an atheist, if you're gay or straight, Republican or Democrat, a grandparent or a college student. I don't even care if you call yourself a Zionist. I know we have different visions of Israel, different visions of eventual peace, and different visions of Israeli politics. These are good qualities in the Jewish spirit. What Hamas wanted to do on October 7th was not just murder Jews. What they wanted to do on that ghastly day 1 year ago was to demoralize us, to crush us, to blunt our hope. Od lo avda tikvatenu. We have not lost our hope. With all of the heaviness and the baggage of the past year, and really as Jews forever, we have chosen to be here on this Yom Kippur, the most important day of our calendar. The act of choosing to celebrate, of choosing to affirm your Judaism, is a radical and rewarding act. It's a form of resilience and spiritual resistance. Light Shabbat candles, make challah, go to Jewish summer camp, visit Israel, study Torah, pursue justice, wear your Star of David, sing Jewish songs, read Jewish books, teach your children and your parents and your neighbors and yourself about this wonderful, inspiring inheritance that has allowed us somehow, despite all odds, to be 5,785 years old. We need you. Shana Tova.
Sometimes I lay under the moon and thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I'm here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more war, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day.
It's not about win or lose, 'cause we all lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving though the waters stay raging.
In this maze, you can lose your way, your way.
Might drive you crazy, but
Don't let it phase you,
no way, no way.
Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when
negativity surrounds,
I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more war, and our children will play. One day,
one day, one day,
oh, one day, one day, one day.
one day this all will change, treat people the same.
Stop with the violence, down with the hate. One day we'll all be free and proud to be under the same sun, singing songs of freedom like why oh, why oh, why oh, why oh. All my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more war, and our children will say one day, one day, one day, oh, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, oh, one day,
one day, one day.
Page 83. When I was young and learned the alphabet, life was open to me. A was full of aspiration, B was for beauty, C for confidence, and D for dreams. And so on through the list, no fewer than 26 opportunities, 26 possibilities. And yet I fear that with the passage of time, I've squandered them, creating instead A's of apathy, B's of brusqueness, and C's of coarseness. Help me then to return to that innocence. Let the letters be letters once again, and let them rise to the heavens and form into the words that you know I wish to say. Preceding page, we begin with our Ashamnu. Our God and God of all generations, may our prayers reach your presence, and when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed. We have done wrong.
Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu, ve'imotenu, tavo lifanecha, tefilatenu, ve'al titala Be'emunatenu Anachnu Azifanim Ukeshei Orel Lomar Lifanecha Adonai Eloheinu Velo Avotenu Ve'imotenu Tzadikim Anachnu Velo Chatanu Aval Anachnu Chatanu. Ay, 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 Ashamnu, Aganu, Gazalnu, Ibarnu Dofi, Ay, 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 He'evinu Ve'hirshanu Zadnu Hamasnu Tafalnu Shaker Ay, 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 Yatznura Izavnu Latnu Maradnu Niatnu Sararnu Avinu Pashanu Sararnu Ishinu Oref Ay, 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 Rashanu Shichatnu Tiavnu Ta'inu Titanu Ay, 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 ay,
Yidui Rabbah, the long confession, begins on page 86. For these things, our God, we ask forgiveness. The ways we have wronged you deliberately and by mistake, and harms we have caused in your world through the words of our mouths. Join with me. The ways we have wronged you by hardening our hearts, and the harm we have caused you in your world through careless speech. The ways we have wronged you through lies and deceit, and harm we have caused in your world through gossip and rumor. The ways we have wronged you by judging others unfairly, and harm we have caused in your world through disrespect to parents and teachers, the ways we have wronged you through insincere apologies, and harm we have caused in your world by mistreating a friend or neighbor, the ways we have wronged you through violence and abuse, and harm we have caused you through dishonesty in business. For all these failures of judgment and will, God, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement. Take a moment of silence with the prayer book on page 88, 89, 90, and 91 for our own silent confession. One, join with me. Who among us is blameless? Who shall say, I have not erred, I have not wronged or sinned? We abuse, we brutalize, we covet, we deceive, we enslave, we feud, we gossip, we humiliate, we injure, we judge unfairly, we kill, we lie, we manipulate, we neglect, we ostracize, we plagiarize, we quarrel, we rage, we shame, we turn away, we undermine, we vilify, we waste, we exploit the earth, we yearn too much for yesterday, and too easily forget Zion. Our sins are an alphabet of woe. Help us, Holy One, to follow your ways of integrity, justice, and love. Teach us to seek forgiveness with humility and an open heart. For all these wrongs, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement. Return to Slichot, the Songs of Forgiveness, on page 96.
יבוא שמחתנו מבוקר, ויראה אהבתנו עד הערב.
Page 98. Hear our call, Adonai our God. Show us compassion, accept our prayer with love and goodwill.
וקבל ברחמים וברצון, ברחמים וברצון, את תפילתנו השיבנו השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה, חדש ימינו כקדם. תשליכנו מלפניך. אל תשליכנו מלפניך. ורוח קודשך אל תיקח ממנו.
105. In all your ways be aware of God, for there is no sovereign without a people. Ein melech belo am. We are the chariot on which God's glory rides, for there is no sovereign without a people. Let the love of God be spread through our deeds, for there is no sovereign without a people. You are my servant Israel, I will be glorified through you, for there is no sovereign without a people. Where is God? Anywhere we let God in, for there is no sovereign without a people. Ein melech belo am. Eternal God, you revealed to Moses your 13 attributes of mercy. They exist in the world through our awareness. They transform the world through our actions. We speak them now as prayer and aspiration.
Adonai, Adonai, Elohim, Echad,
The opportunity to hear a word of welcome from the president of Temple Beth El, Marta Karloff.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
The mute button's probably on. Press the red button on the microphone.
There you go.
Hello? Much better. Thank you. Hello, my name is Marta Karlov, and I have the privilege of serving as president of the Board of Trustees. As Rabbi remarked earlier, it was a hard year to be a Jew. This year, the Days of Atonement coincided with the anniversary of the tragic attacks on October 7th. As I reflected on the meaning of this convergence during a time of atonement, I came across an op-ed by Bret Stephens in the New York Times that brought some clarity to my thoughts. Stephens wrote that on October 8th, our understanding of anti-Semitism in this country was irrevocably changed. He described it this way. In an era that stresses sensitivity to every microaggression against nearly any minority, macroaggressions against Jews who happen to believe that Israel has a right to exist are not only permitted, but demanded. These are harsh words, but truthful. Anti-Semitic incidents in Wisconsin have risen by 570% since 2015, according to the Milwaukee Jewish Federation. Yet despite this alarming rise, there has also been a strengthening of Jewish identity. The Jewish Federation of North America notes that more than 4 in 10 American Jews have either sought out or engaged more deeply with Jewish life since October 7th. Personally, I feel this shift at Temple Beth El. You can see it in the parents at Cafe Panim, in those lingering at the Oneg after Shabbat services, and in the students participating in rabbi sessions on the theme, All Israel is responsible for one another. In a recent webinar, Michal Biton, a scholar in residence with the Maimonides Fund, shared that her love for the Jewish people has deepened during this time. Her words resonate deeply with me. This changing environment has strengthened my sense of belonging and commitment to this community, our friends, colleagues, and families. As we move forward together, I wish you all love, peace, and joy in our sacred community. A couple of announcements. Your High Holiday program has all the information you need about Sukkot and Simchas Torah celebrations coming up. You can drop off your High Holiday food drive donations envelopes in the blue boxes outside of the sanctuary. Finally, thank you, Cantor, Rabbi, choir members, gifted musicians, the TBE team, and all the volunteers who bring us meaning and joy during worship. Chatimah Tova.
We rise on 117 for Aleinu the Shabeach. So, Adonai, our God, we look to you, hoping soon to behold the splendor of your power revealed. A world free of idolatry and false gods. A world growing more perfect through divine governance. A world in which all human beings make known your name, while those who do evil turn toward you. Seated. Words of Kaddish are on page 122. Words of Kaddish are on page 122. We will read our yahrzeit list on this Shabbat, and if I read the name of your loved one, I invite you to rise in his or her honor, and then we'll rise as one community, say the words of Kaddish together. Lost to the Beth El community recently were Herlene Radbill, the mother of Sharon Radbill Cooper, Patrick Cooper, and the aunt of Stephen Schwartz, and Miriam Shoshana Port, the mother of our member Dr. Michael Port and Sherry Port. In this period of yahrzeit, the anniversary since death, we remember with love Lillian Alper Tuckmim, Dr. Douglas G. Batty, Pam Burgum, Evelyn Rappaport Berman, Donald J. Brodkey, Frida S. Cohn, Milton B. Elliott, Claire Erlinger, Marsha Frank Burns, Rachel Giller, Jean Goffinet, Joseph Goldenberg, Toby Goldstein, Teresa Hirschberg Goodfriend, Sam Klein, Jack Koch, Irving Cohn, Rose Landweber, Henry Lapidus, Milfred Lieberthal, Jean L. Linderman, Howard Pillay, Merrill Pittleman, Dr. Joseph Preisler, David Casey Robbins, Rudolph Rosenberg, Joseph Rubenstein, Henny Schwartz, Irving F. Shapiro, Lucille Shapiro, Rachel Seniko, Carol Seniko, Harriet Spector, Dorothy Sturman Kanenberg, Mona K. Stern, Ruth Stocker, Tamar Suckman, Stephen R. Tarkow, Sylvia Thal, Max Turkheimer, Norma White, Donna Winnick, Haskell M. Woldenberg, Herman A. Wolf. If you're thinking of someone else whose name I did not read, I invite you to rise and share their name out loud at this time so we can add them to our prayer. We rise as one community. Yitkadal
Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divrach Chirutech V'yamlich Malchutech, B'chayechon Uvyomechon, U'v'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'gala U'vizman Kariv V'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevarach Ve'alam Ul'almei Almaya. Yitvarach V'yishtabach V'yitfa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar V'yithaleh V'yithalal Shemei Kusha B'richu Le'ela Mikol Birchata V'shirata Tush V'chata V'nechemata Yamiran Be'alma V'imru Amen. V'hei Shlama Rabba V'yishemaya V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom V'imromav V'yaseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru Amen.
May the source of peace bestow peace on all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort to who are all bereaved, as we say together, Amen. Have a seat. We conclude with the words of a Hal Sha'alti song in the middle of page 124 from Psalm 27.
Achal Sha'alti Vei Adonai Otah.
Chatimah, Tova, may you be signed and sealed in the book of life, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.